Hi again, everyone. I'm olliemathews. This is Societal Narcissism. This video is sponsored by contribution from Joan. Joan gave a general contribution, which I'll use for this video. Boy, is TikTok just a wealth of content for these estranged narcissistic parents. Every time I think I found the pinnacle, oh boy, the next one up, it's like they're out trying to narcissist each other. So this woman claims to be 50, says she's 52 years old. And I watched the first minute of this video. I looked at the rest of her page. Me and Charlene were howling. We're howling at some of this stuff. So this is a 10-minute video. Ways to let go of your adult children, part 1.
Long time no see. So, as some of you know, since my suicide attempt, I've had a weird relationship
Suicide attempt.
with my daughter.
Now she has a weird relationship with her daughter.
She's like said some things and done some things that I didn't understand.
They never understand. This always catches them by surprise when we've had enough of their bullshit.
That I was toxic, and she also called me a narcissist, which I know I'm not, but...
Oh, she knows she's not. Wait till after this video and we look at the rest of the page. You can make your own determination whether this woman is a narcissist or not, or toxic. Actually, this is borderline. This is borderline personality disorder.
And upon doing some research, I came across 7 ways to let go of your adult children and grow closer because of it. And through all that, I discovered that that the hardest thing it is let go of your children.
Sounds like your children are letting go of you, and now you're trying to beat them to the punch because they called you what you are, toxic and narcissistic, and they've had it with you. They've had it with your histrionics. They've had it with your bullshit. They've had it with your toxicity. They've had it with you making an asshole out of yourself all over social media, looking for attention.
We always struggle with understanding why it's so hard for parents to loosen the rein while they're exploring what it means to be a person in the well and figuring out how they want their life to look. Parents are reeling because of the shift in being their kids' caretaker and personal advice columnist to the person they call once a week. It can't seem outrageous to think that you can drop the level of involvement that becomes norm for you while you're parenting for the past 2 decades. There's not a switch you can turn that makes you a perfect parent.
There we go. There's the perfect parent excuse. There's the perfect parent excuse again. And we're going to look at the rest of her page, and you can make a determination of what the problem might be here.
2 adult kids. And so many parents beat themselves over not being able to meet their kids' new needs. Yet there's not just one, but several reasons why letting go of an adult kid can be so hard. I mean, face it, we've been making decisions, helping our children grow, teaching them for 18 plus years.
Teaching them what? Teaching them what? To take after you? To be 52 years old making an idiot of yourself on TikTok? on an app that's meant for 13-year-old girls? You want to be raised by this? Dealing with your suicide attempts and your fibromyalgia at 52 years old? When is enough enough? When does the child get to decide enough is enough? Never?
And then all of a sudden, that they don't need that support anymore.
Right. They don't need your support. And yet, because you are codependent on them, you are suffocating their lives with your bullshit. And now you want to act like, well, I'm the mother, and now I have to change because it's basically I loved you too much. I'm not a perfect parent. That's not the problem. The problem is you make everything about yourself.
That's a big behavioral shift for anyone to experience. Very difficult. Humans need validation, and so many parents feel needed and validated by kids looking for them for supports and guidance.
So we're supposed to, we're supposed to validate you by looking to you for support and who's raising who here? Who's raising who? Who raised who here? Now, for how long? You're 52. You raised us, you're responsible for us till we're 18. Now what? Now we're responsible for you for the next 4 decades? Is that what you expect? Yeah, that's what she expected.
When they don't actively need you anymore, it can make parents desperate for that validation again. So up until my suicide attempt, my mother...
Which is a cry for attention, which was nothing more than a cry for attention.
My daughter was 25, 26, and she needed me just as much as she did when she was 5 years old.
Right up until her suicide attempt, her daughter needed you. No, she was putting up with you until she couldn't take it anymore. You needed her validation. She clearly didn't need yours. You were sucking you were stealing her entire life from her, seeking supply validation from your own daughter. And now she's telling you she's had enough.
Very insecure, was bullied in school. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if it was a realization that mom is not going to be there forever. And to me...
So she's saying the daughter was bullied in school. I wonder why. And again, now you're putting your daughter's shit out on the internet. Of why now she owes you her validation? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, that's what she's saying. These strange parents all think they're owed something from you. They're not.
I put a lot of blame on myself. Saying it was my fault. Caused her to have PTSD. I shouldn't have done that. And
well, at least she admits that.
Me for time to forgive me. Hindsight is 20/20. As you get older, you can recognize the mistake you make and want to impart your wisdom by whatever means necessary. But adult kids often don't want your wisdom. They want you to try. They want to try and fail on their own. So,
what wisdom? What wisdom? If you're saying you caused PTSD and you fucked up her life, why would she want anything from you other than to leave her alone? Again, this is a gaslighting technique so she can go back to getting her validation through her adult daughter.
So that's the first part that I want to talk about. Yes, there comes a time that when your children want to make their own decisions, but...
She's talking about 26-year-old woman at this point. Completely infantilizing a 26-year-old woman. Why? Because she's a mental child, which you're going to see when we look at the rest of her account. Get ready, get a sweatshirt, because you're going to get the douche chills. Ooh, trust me.
Haven't been there for my daughter for all these years, and her needed me so badly. To come to a standstill, to complete stop. What?
No, she didn't need you. You needed her. You were sucking off her supply, not the other way around.
It's hard, and I thought that she was mean. That she was just being mean.
You're just being mean. That's little girl talk. Again, because the mother didn't get the validation she wanted from her daughter. Now the daughter's mean. This is why it's not, just go. Just go. It's not worth confronting them. Because most of these estranged parents belong in an institution in the first place. They are burdens on society.
You know, like I would go to her place and tell her, come on, get up, go for a walk. Or
so you'd show up unannounced at her place as she's sleeping to go for a walk with you so you could get your validation. You gotta read between the lines here. So you violate her space. She's not living with you. You're going to her place, barging into her space, disrupting her sleep, which is a huge trigger for us. So you can get your supply validation. Why? Because you're a 13-year-old girl mentally.
you should do this, you should do that. Not do this, do that, but you should do this, you should do that.
Whether you say do this, do that, or you should, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it. She didn't ask for your opinion. She didn't invite you over. But you barge in and start telling her what she should be doing. They don't get it. They don't get it because the only thing that concerns them is their own supply, their own validation. She is an emotional fucking vampire, as all borderlines are. And you're going to see what's been barging in on her, by the way.
You shouldn't do, like, whatever. And I guess to her was like...
And if you're doing suicide attempts, you're not the one who should be giving advice to anybody. You're giving life advice to your daughter, and then you're doing suicide attempts at 50-something years old. On what planet does that make sense? In what world? In the world of a mental institution. These are the conversations of the rec room of a mental hospital. Delusions of grandeur. Delusions of the borderline. Delusions of the estranged parent. Emotional fucking vampires.
I was trying to live as an extension of her, which is not the fact.
It is the fact. It is absolutely the fact, is what I've been saying about a lot of these women. They live as extensions. They live vicariously. This is what the daughter told her. She said she needed the validation of being needed by her daughter. So she's forcing herself into her daughter's life, sucking away the daughter's energy, stealing the daughter's youth, stealing her privacy, violating her fucking boundaries. And then, let's have a suicide attempt on top of it. Enough's enough. When is enough enough? They don't get it.
But I will be doing this every day. Maybe I can help somebody through what I've learned to let go of your children before it's too late. For my case, it's been 2 years since I suicide attempt. I'm now realizing that I did not cause her PTSD, but I did cause her some sort of trauma. And
At least you realize it. So what? She's just supposed to forget about all that? Like what? What do you want from her? So now you realize you're causing her trauma, but you were barging in on her, telling her how she should live her life.
she doesn't want me to be pushy. She says, well, we used to see each other all the time, especially when she lived in the apartment below me every day. And now it comes to the point that, who sees their parents every weekend? Who talks to their parents every day? Because I would get upset if I would write to her and she would not respond for a few days.
Oh my God. Oh my, like, do you see it? She had her living in the apartment under her. She'd get upset if she didn't talk to her every few days. She demanded her time. She demanded her energy. She demanded her emotion. A fucking emotional fucking vampire. And now she's here trying to play victim. When is the girl allowed to have her own fucking life?
And before she did. So it was an adaptation for her, but it's also a very difficult time for me and adaptation for me. But through all my readings and stuff, I realized that yes, I wasn't trying to live through her.
No.
What I was trying to do was to help her.
I was just trying to help you. I wasn't trying to ruin your life. I was just trying to help you. See, this is, what do you think she's reading from? She's reading from other estranged parents' fucking literature, channels, whatever she's researching. This is the danger of these people. This is what's going on. They are giving each other the fucking tools so they never have to accept responsibility for their toxic behavior. TikTok is by far the worst. The worst. The good thing about TikTok is it caters to the it caters to the narcissistic, sociopathic borderlines most base impulses. They can't help but tell on themselves on this platform. As bad as you think Facebook is, and it's terrible, and YouTube is, and it is, this is just, it's toxicity right to the veins for these people, and they can't resist it. They can't fucking resist it, because that 13-year-old girl is going to come out like this.
For my children is the best. I want them to be healthy. I want them to have the things they need. I don't expect them to be successful in life.
I don't expect them to be What the fuck? Because if they're successful, then they're not going to need you. And then you're cut off from your emotional fucking supply. This is what these estranged parent experts, whoever they are feeding. This is what they're peddling. And they get somebody like this who's clearly down the mental illness rabbit hole, who should be clearly institutionalized. Because this is a burden on society, and you're going to see it in the other stuff I'm going to show you.
I want them to be independent. So letting go of a child is not something that happens overnight. When my firstborn moved from Sherbrooke to Montreal, about an hour and a half away.
So this is another Canadian, and Canada is deeper down the narcissism rabbit hole than the United States, but not by much. We're making up ground really fast.
I cried for the first 6 months. And every time I spoke to him on the phone, I would say, "You're not happy in Montreal. You want to come home."
I cried for 6 months because my adult son moved away, and I'm calling him, telling him he's not happy. I'm like, oh my God, just fucking chaos at all times. Who wants to deal with this from their mother? They don't get it. Because they don't want to get it. Because they don't want to be cut off from their supply. They are emotional vampires. They wither and die without it.
And he'd say, "Mom, stop." And eventually it got easier. But
Because you focus more on your daughter. That's why. It's probably when you really ramped up, walking in on your daughter, waking her up, telling her you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that. I'm going to try to kill myself. But I don't want them to be successful. I don't expect them to be successful. Well, how could you? With you in their head, sucking the life out of them at every fucking waking moment. How could you be?
but with effort and a good attitude, I'm hoping to have a beautiful new relationship with my daughter.
She should be running. She should be running and not looking back. Wait for it, people. Wait for it.
And so if anybody has any things that they want to share, if they've been through something similar, because for me, my relationship with my mother has been toxic since I was a teenager.
Gee whiz. So you have a toxic relationship with your mother, boomer, because this woman's Gen X, boomer, and she can't put two and two together where she's just handing the goddamn toxicity torch right down the line. Her daughter has had it. She's not toxic, but her mother was toxic. Jesus.
Didn't know love, didn't know anything, was brought up with material stuff, but not brought up with love and stuff. And so I swore that was what I was going to do with my children. And
again, that's where I talk about is they think as long as they didn't do exactly what their parents did, they're not toxic. They're able to gaslight themselves, lie to themselves, and say, you didn't have it the way I had it, so you have nothing to fucking complain about. Bullshit.
our children were always, even from the store or whatever, love you. And it wasn't a day we go by that we didn't say, we love you, I love you too. Or every time we talk, I love you too, you know. So I want to have that relationship with my daughter again. And I'm trying to, I'm understanding that, no, I don't need to talk to her every day, or I don't need to see her every day. And
you're just realizing you don't need to talk to her every day. And she doesn't understand why her daughter called her a toxic narcissist. Talk to her about what? You're going to see it. You'll be able to figure it out pretty quickly.
I'm not judging her. I've never been judged her. Maybe I've, told her, well, maybe you'd feel better if you got out for a walk or stuff like that. Well,
so when you're barging in on her private space, you should. That's not out of judgment. You're not judging how she's living her life and telling her to do something differently. Like, it's exactly what it is.
I think those things that she should figure out on her own.
She should again.
And,
she should.
And to let her be. So with that, tomorrow will come with part 2. And I hope everybody has a good evening. And thank you for listening. And maybe sometimes, if some people are interested, we could do a live mothers, fathers that I went through the same thing. All right?
No, thank you. So let's talk. Let's see what exactly has been barging in on her daughters. Let's see. I mean, look at the eyes. Look at the eyes. Filters, the eyelash filters. Gee, I don't know why your daughter might call you toxic and narcissistic.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Stand a little taller. Doesn't mean I'm lonely when I'm alone. What doesn't kill you makes you fighter.
Can you imagine this being your mother? You having to talk to her. You see my new TikTok? You see my new TikTok? You see my new TikTok? This is the mentality. This is the mentality.
Listen up to all my followers. I need 10,000 followers immediately.
Somebody's back on the meth. Somebody's back on the crazy pills. Can't figure out why your daughter called you toxic and narcissistic.
You need me more than I need you. They need me more than I need them. Maybe not. But anyways, I need 10,000 followers. So please, no please, do it. I want 10,000 followers.
I want.
Listen.
I want. How many times did her kids hear, I want. Look at this page. Look at it. TikTok after TikTok with crazy eyes, dancing. Like, look at this. Filters, eyelash filters, crazy eyes, dancing around.
Cause this is Africa. Samina mina, waka waka, samina mina, samina. This time for.
You want that to be your mother? You want this taking you want to be taking life advice from this. I can't figure out why your daughter called you toxic and narcissistic. I have no idea. You should. One more.
Yo, drop your glasses, shake it.
Can't imagine. Well, I can, because I had to deal with my mother dancing around half naked all the time, but can't imagine why your daughter called you toxic and narcissistic. You should. Could you imagine having to talk to this every day? Having her show up in your space while you're sleeping. You should. These are what these estranged parents are all about. So, make sure you support channels like mine, because this is what's taking over the space, people. Thank you, Joan, for the contribution. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, something you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with either the Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, and email links in the description box below. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. Also, be sure to subscribe to both my channels on Rumble. Follow me on Twitter and Telegram as well. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Societal Narcissism. Take care, everyone.